everybody. Welcome once again to the Chipman Brothers Tangent Podcast. My name is Bob Chipman. With me once again is my brother Chris. Chris, say hi.
Hey, everybody. I'm on the internet.
All right. Hopefully the audio sync will line up nice and proper here. And Chris, how are we doing today?
I'm doing pretty damn good. It was incredibly nice out the last 2 days for the first time this spring. So that made it that made it painful as hell to be in my cubicle farmed insanity during the day.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you at least get some time out in the sun?
No, not so much.
Oh, what are you getting up to tomorrow?
Tomorrow we are prepping because we're going to be painting our living room on Memorial Day weekend. So yeah, so much fun owning a house.
No, this weekend isn't Memorial Day weekend, is it?
Next is.
Okay.
So this is the buying stuff to do that work weekend.
Well, if you need a hand, you know where to find me.
Indeed.
I am always happy to help with routine maintenance.
Yes, we'll have to talk about that. Maybe we can go to the dump again.
Yes. Yeah, no, this is good.
Behold, call me Trash Mountain.
Call me over whenever you decide that you want to get rid of that wood pile, because I want to play with the chainsaw and the axes.
Oh, yes. The chainsaw is fun.
Yeah. All right.
So you heard it here. You heard it here first, folks. If you see any Twitter pictures of either of us at the hospital with missing limbs, you know exactly what happened.
So this week, last week we talked about Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which we both enjoyed. This week, you haven't been out to see a new movie, right?
No, I have not.
All right, yeah. Well, you're busy, and the new movie that I did get to see was Alien Covenant, which is garbage.
I'm sure you all saw his review.
Yeah, it's just hot garbage. I think I like Prometheus a little better.
Wow, that's surprising, because I conceptually really like Prometheus. I don't necessarily like what ended up on screen.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a cool idea.
It's weird that Prometheus even is an alien movie, like tangentially, because what it feels the most like is if a bunch of otherwise good actors and filmmakers got together and remade one of like the shitty alien ripoff movies from the 80s.
Right.
I'm like, this is not a very good prequel to Alien, but it's a not bad, pretty faithful remake of like Inseminoid and Galaxy of Terror.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are both real and worth a Google.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. All right, but so I don't know when will be the next time we have both seen the new movie, because
I'd say pretty soon, maybe Pirates. I'm seeing Pirates the night before it comes out. So
I'm very sorry about that.
Yeah, we could talk about that one, especially if it's garbage. And I've seen them all with the wife, so we kind of have to. And I'm sure I'll see Wonder Woman probably opening weekend, because that actually continues to look great despite everything my heart is telling me it should be.
Yeah, no, the early buzz on Wonder Woman is good, and not just, good compared to the other DC movies. Like, apparently it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, hey, what do you know? I can get on board with that. We'll find out.
I heard it, strong words coming from some comparing it to Christopher Reeve's Superman, so we'll see.
That sounds like some let's not go nuts.
Exactly, but those are big words for me,
Yeah,
that'd be like, you seeing Spider-Man Homecoming before me and telling me it's Spider-Man 2 good. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'd have to calm myself.
Yeah. I don't know how soon I'll be seeing Baywatch, but you're aware they've made a film of Baywatch, right?
Yes, I saw that.
Okay, and you've seen the trailers for this.
Yeah, it looks like, kind of like what they did with Chips, the 21 and 22 Jump Street worked, surprise, no one knew this would happen, and we need to do that again.
Well, here's the thing. Now, Baywatch was mid-1990s, so I was in high school, and you were in like grade school to junior high school.
Junior high school. Yeah, I think it was Baywatch.
So you remember Baywatch being a thing.
Oh, yeah, I've seen Baywatch. When it was actually on TV.
Right, yeah, it was on. Now, for people who don't remember, Baywatch was a show. It was on for one season. It was on a regular network. I think it was ABC.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on in prime time, and it was a huge dud.
Yes.
Like it was a bomb. Like the show failed. And they kept it going in syndication, because now you could put this crappy B-rated show on in the middle of the afternoon.
Yes.
Because no one's going to watch this shit in prime time. It's a lifeguard show. But you put it on during the day, and then it gets ratings. So this becomes, for a brief period, the most watched show in the world.
Well, I think, at the time, especially with, TV being what it was then versus TV kind of being what it is now, you had as long as this is a scotch better than a soap opera, it's better than everything else that's on during the day, right? I mean, that's kind of the Grey's Anatomy approach, right? Is if our production value is X amount better than a soap opera, and we put it on at night, it's going to be better than what you're used to watching during the day. You know what I mean?
You have just pissed off so many people by comparing Grey's Anatomy to Baywatch.
Well, I mean, I won't even defend it because my wife still watches it weekly, so I still have to deal. I still have to deal with that rip your heart out and step on it crazy show where everybody's life is so fucking miserable and yet so awesome. It's kind of like what I've heard people criticizing the new Pirates about. Don't you think after a while you just wouldn't work in the hospital anymore? Maybe you wouldn't date the people you're working with at this point. I mean, the Pirates thing, right? Aren't you not surprised anymore that there's supernatural pirates? I mean, this shouldn't be a big deal at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, our main pirate was once dead. Maybe twice.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Yeah.
Baywatch.
Well, no, what's pissing me off a little bit, and not so much pissing me off, what's just sort of alternately irritating and sort of amusing me about this is the Baywatch movie that they've made is one of these things where they're making fun of the fact that the show was bad.
Yes.
Was that this was a dumb show, and they've centered all of the marketing and such on the fact that it's The Rock and Zac Efron, who are both like the two top professional guys of being ironic in movies.
Right, and they're both very good at it, right? I mean, after seeing, what was it, Neighbors?
Yes.
I mean, Zac Efron was always one of those people where it's like, all right, he's better than the material that they're giving him. I get this, like from the beginning, kind of. But Neighbors was something different and special with that guy. It's like, oh, he gets it completely. Kind of in the Channing Tatum vein of, wow, this guy just gets it. He's not as good of an actor, but it's the same idea. And I mean, The Rock, I'll watch anything that guy's in, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, no, The Rock is great. Like, this is all great, but here's the thing. If you are probably under the age of 25, and therefore were not alive when Baywatch was a thing.
Right.
And you're seeing these trailers, you might get the impression that Baywatch was a show, because what they're basically trying to retcon the history of this property. Because the trailers are telling you that Baywatch was a show like Miami Vice or 21 Jump Street that was a dumb, supposed to be taken seriously premise that people watched because it was ironic and you could laugh at it and have fun with the badness of it. That this was like other David Hasselhoff shows, like this was a Knight Rider type thing where it's like, yeah, this is junky and goofy, but we remember it fondly. That. I was there. I remember this. Baywatch was not a show that people watched because it was ironic and fun. People watched Baywatch to masturbate.
Yes, 100%.
That was it. And I'm being as clean as I can because we tagged this as a clean podcast for iTunes.
Hey, that is a medical term, Bob.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, this is like, what you need to understand is Baywatch is a show that existed because I lost the joke I was going to make. No, Baywatch existed.
And then the Kool-Aid Man burst through the wall like a Seth MacFarlane joke.
No. Here's the thing. At a certain point, now, if you're under 25, you do not appreciate I'm an old man doing this right now. I know I'm, or like old for my age, but you do not appreciate is there was no such thing as Google.
Right. You can find every bit of, what our parents' generation would have called the Sears catalog underwear ads. You didn't have that available on the internet to search the more risque version of that, so you had to find whatever you could on daytime TV. Case in point, ESPN all-female workout videos.
Yeah, exactly. This is a thing that is no longer happens. But back in, and Baywatch was pretty much the last thing like this. Like, by the time Baywatch was off the air, the reason it went off the air is because they invented Google, and now every single pornographic image that has ever been shot in the history of mankind is now searchable.
Right, we didn't have to have the slow motion 10-minute long beach run sequence.
Well, right, but that's the thing is like, if you, I'm sure this movie is very funny and whatnot, but if you see this movie and you're amused by it, but then you go and say, hey, I think I'm gonna watch Baywatch, you're gonna be bored out of your f***ing mind, because the only reason this thing existed was because they found like 5 or 6, blondes, right? They were all blondes on Baywatch, right?
I think so, yes, very Aryan show.
Well, no, like Alexandra Paul, I think, was the one brunette on Baywatch, and she had like the bowl cut and the and she was like a B cup, and nobody cared.
Yes,
right. But like everyone else on Baywatch, they found like Pamela Anderson Lee and Nicole Eggert and a couple other of these women, you know, who were just like ridiculously stunning women, and put them in red bathing suits and had them run on the beach. And that was it. That was the only reason anyone watched this show. We didn't watch it because it was funny. It wasn't clever. It wasn't there to be appreciated ironically. Baywatch was softcore pornography, and that's it. And it's alternately amusing and irritating to me that it is being repackaged and sold as, oh, hey, it's funny as, we're laughing about ironic action stuff. No one cared about the, lifeguards pretending to be cops thing. Nobody cared. I couldn't tell you a plot. I have probably watched like 7,000 hours worth of Baywatch. I can barely tell you what anyone's name is.
No, exactly.
And not for lack of trying, because like I can tell you whole story arcs from Xena Warrior Princess, and that existed for the same goddamn reason.
Yeah, but that was actually well made.
It was, but what I'm saying is I remember story points from Xena, whereas I think, what the hell was Pam Anderson's name on Baywatch?
Beats the shit out of me.
Was she? C.J. Parker.
She was C.J. Parker. Okay, there we go.
C.J. Right. And the only reason I remember that is because when they did the Mad Magazine parody of it, they called her B.J.
Yes. You see, what's interesting, right, is like, folks that, you look back, like you say, fondly or ironically on something, might think in their head, oh, maybe this was like, Point Break, the TV show, or something stupid like that. It's not. It's like looking back at Walker, Texas Ranger and trying to figure out what the hell people saw in that.
Yeah. Well, no, but I know what people liked about Walker. It was a show about a cowboy who kicked people. Like, I get that.
But it, had about the same production values as Baywatch.
Yeah, it had about the same. My point is always that like people probably did watch Walker, Texas Ranger for like the story stuff, or like Renegade or 21 Jump Street or things like that. Shows that were just dumb fun that people watched. Baywatch was watched for one reason, and it wasn't because we thought it was particularly clever and we're laughing at the stupidity of it. No.
Right.
No, we were not. So, that is, but hey, I'm sure it'll be fun. Isn't what's her name from True Detective in it?
I think so. Why can't
Alexandra Daddario?
Yes, I think you're correct.
Alright, yeah, that's gonna be a good movie.
Oh, it looks like it's gonna be a blast. Maybe the movie will have more redeeming qualities than the television show.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, Chris.
I'm trying to keep this clean, Bob.
Yeah, I know. Just saying. You saw True Detective, right?
Not yet.
Oh, you gotta watch True Detective, man. Not just for that. True Detective is really good. The first season.
Yes, I have not. I have not seen it.
Yeah. First season of True Detective is good.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
So there's Baywatch. That comes out in who knows, 2 weeks?
Couple of weeks. Yeah, I think so. It comes out opposite something else, I think.
Doesn't it come out opposite like a animated movie?
Yeah, I don't know. Is that the one that's out opposite? Oh, I think that's out against Cars.
Cars is coming out that soon, huh?
I think so. Hold on. One of us should probably like pull up the IMDb. Sorry?
No, I was gonna say to remind people we do this off the cuff. I'm surprised you can't tell.
Yeah, no. This is there's no plan for any of this. Like, I've got the TV on silent in the background right now. They're running one of those awful new Carl's Jr. commercials.
Oh, Jesus. Is that the one where, like, attractive women eat sandwiches, or was that Arby's?
No. Well, that was Carl's Jr., but, hey, there's a Baywatch ad on right now.
That is surprise. All right.
What do you know? Yeah, no, and, no, there's, like, for a long time, the Carl's Jr. ads were all, Paris Hilton having sex with a hamburger washing a car, basically.
Yes.
But, like,
just about as good as Baywatch.
Yeah, but, like, since the Super Bowl, they did a Super Bowl ad for Carl's Jr. where an actor playing Carl Sr.
Oh, Jesus. Baywatch is opening against Pirates next week.
Oh, wow. That's next week. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, wow. I might have 2 reviews that week. All right. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, man, it's already almost May.
It is May, dude. It's the middle of May.
It is. Oh, it's the middle
of May. It's already almost June.
It's already almost June. Jesus, where does the year go?
And Wonder Woman is the weekend after that. Wonder Woman's the one opening against Captain Underpants.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's unfortunate I feel like that's going to be unfortunate for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, because Captain Underpants is apparently a big deal, and Weird Al's doing the song. And if Spy Hard tells us anything, Weird Al doing our song means the movie's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, no. No. Like, Wonder Woman, I'm sure is going to be like big, but like Captain Underpants, I would have moved Wonder Woman if I could.
Unless they're the same company.
No, it wouldn't be the same studio against it, because Captain Underpants is like, it's not like on the radar as much. But, like, that was the other thing that was big in, like, kids lit around the time Harry Potter was.
Oh, that's where it comes from.
No, it was like a series of, like, they were like manga, but like for like Americans.
I see.
Like novel style comics. And like there were like 12 of them, and they like because I had to report the news on this movie, and I didn't know. I wasn't in I wasn't in, like, grade school 10 years ago, and I didn't really know any grade schoolers socially, so I never heard of this, but I put up a news story about, hey, there's a trailer for something called Captain Underpants, and the internet was losing its shit.
Huh.
Going like, oh my god, this is my whole childhood was Captain Underpants. So,
maybe it's gonna be a big deal. It was off my radar for sure.
Yeah, that's a thing. Okay,
dude, what's it? Cars 3 is opening against the All Eyes on Me, the Tupac Shakur movie, and 47 Meters Down, where we hopefully get to see Mandy Moore eaten by a shark.
That looks good.
It looks awesome.
That looks good. Yeah, like there's so much stuff coming out that like I want to see. It's like, oh yeah, hey, that looks good. Hey, Spider-Man's coming out. That looks awesome. Like, I just want to like fast forward to July 28th and watch Atomic Blonde.
Yes, that looks awesome. Yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of 47 Meters Down, we haven't mentioned it on here yet. The Shallows was friggin' awesome.
The Shallows was great.
And I wish we had a podcast to talk about that. I am a sucker for big killer shark movies, and that one was friggin' awesome.
Yeah, I will watch. I won't say I'll watch any shark movie once, because like
some of them suck.
Well, no, because like growing up, there was like 12 shark movies, and now there's like 1,000 shark movies.
But man, The Shallows was a really well done one.
Yeah. Did you see the one when the sharks were in the supermarket?
No, that wasn't Sharknado?
No. There's an actual good movie. It's Australian.
Oh, is that the one where the tidal wave brings the sharks in and flood the town? Oh, what was that called? Was that called that was called like The Wave or something? No, it was called Shark Night.
I think so,
like
yeah.
Shark Night, yeah. Like
Shark Night was the one when the guy they genetically engineered the sharks to breathe in fresh water and put them in a lake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't that great. No, but the sharks in the supermarket was good.
Oh.
I can tell you that was pretty good.
That's awesome.
You know what was a letdown was Sharks in Venice.
Yeah, I can imagine. That should have been cool.
Yeah, that should be a good idea. It's like, oh, hey, Sharks in Venice, cool, but like, it's still just in the water.
Right.
Yeah.
Something else to go on a podcast from 2 times ago. We're going to see Mystery Science Theater live.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped about that, everybody in Internet
that's gonna
land.
Be great. Yeah.
Even if we don't get the secret movie, it's going to be friggin' great.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. I want to go see it, see if there's any surprises. Good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. I think something else we might have touched on last time, or not. Did we mention Hellboy last time?
No, we as soon as we got into Spider-Man Land, we went like 15 minutes longer than we normally do on the last time. No, Hellboy, this is something topical. So really quick before we talk about what's happening with the Hellboy property, which angers me greatly, and we'll get in, and I'm sure it might anger you. I wanted to give a quick Hellboy story, which I believe you were there for, and I think should be shared with Internet land. So the original Hellboy came out in the doldrums, the beginnings of a website that I still hate to this day, of the name of Fandango.
Ugh.
And Fandango made it really easy for us, and I'm sure like many other geeky moviegoers, to get a whole bunch of people together to go to the theater as a group, because one person in the group could buy everyone tickets, and then we could all show up at the theater in, say, Boston, because we have to take a train to get there, and the theater on Boston Common is really awesome, and go see Hellboy on opening night, for instance. So this was at the time where our 14.4 modems and 56K, if you had them, could log on to Fandango's website and buy tickets. But Fandango's website, 2 or 3 nights before we were all supposed to get on a train into Boston to go see Hellboy on opening weekend, decided to say that there was a problem with the credit card or a problem with the website. So called back a couple of times. It didn't work. So he said, you know what? Fine, we're going to go day of and make it work. So I go to our good friend from CinemaSpection, Tim Luzz's apartment, and we will go on his computer and try to buy tickets for the 15 people that we're going to all be meeting at Boston to see this movie. And the same thing happens. So then our buddy Casey Malone tries to buy tickets over the phone, and it doesn't work. So then he tries again. So after this, I've tried to buy these tickets at least 5 times, times 15 people, if you can see where this is going already. Our friend Tim has tried twice with his credit card, and our friend Casey has tried twice with his credit card. So we get into Boston, figure, you know what, we'll just go for it. Maybe they won't be sold out, and if worst case scenario, we'll go to a later showtime. So we all get there, see all the shows are sold out. Super bummer, or till like later at night, right? Super bummed, whatever. So Casey goes up to the machine where you buy tickets and decides, okay, I'll put them on my card for the later show. And 2 times 15 Hellboy tickets spit out. And then Tim puts his credit card in, and 2 times 15 Hellboy tickets spit out. And I put my credit card in, and 5 times 15 Hellboy tickets sold out. So wouldn't you know, we sold out our showtime ourselves. And why do I hate Fandango? Because still to this day, they have not refunded any of us the $1 service charge per ticket for Hellboy. So, needless to say, we all eventually saw Hellboy in a very empty theater. And it was great.
Yeah.
It was at the time the fourth movie by Guillermo del Toro. There was Mimic, and there was The Devil's Backbone. Maybe it was the third. No, because there's Kronos.
Kronos.
So it is the
Kronos,
fourth.
Mimic, yeah.
And so I'm a huge Guillermo del Toro fan. I'm not in this camp of, oh, he sucks when he makes movies in America and his foreign language are better. His foreign language are definitely more Oscar-worthy type films. He kind of goes for kind of fun in the English language once he does. But man, Hellboy 1 is great, even though it's fighting to be a studio film with human characters in it, maybe a bit more than the really interesting characters. But man, Ron Perlman perfectly cast. The rest of the cast perfectly cast. Jeffrey Tambor, I believe, was amazing in I think he's in both. Did he die in the first movie?
No, Jeffrey Tambor is in both.
Yeah, and then Hellboy 2 is just off the reservation bonkers and great and everything there is to love about Guillermo del Toro as a visionary and as a director, which brings me to the point of anger and confusion.
Yeah.
Over Del Toro about a year ago pushed on the Twitterverse for a Hellboy 3. Yes. And got a whole bunch of people to say, yeah, we want a Hellboy 3. And came back and said, going into negotiations with the studio because you guys asked for it. And then it seemed to fizzle out. And maybe, do you have any more information other than my speculation that the guy that writes the comic is just a douchebag as to why the third movie didn't happen?
I don't know about a douchebag. I don't know about that. I've always been told that Mike Mignola is really cool, but
well, okay, let me backpedal a bit there because but it just seems that he doesn't like what happened with his property. Maybe douchebag was a heavy term.
Well, right, but also he does not get to say like he sold the movie rights to this,
right?
He collects a check on Hellboy movies. Like this is not this is not something that he can stop. If another studio wants a Hellboy movie and is the rights holder to it, can do so. I mean, like the first Hellboy movie was made by one studio, and it made some money, but not a lot of money.
Right.
It was not as big of it was not like a monster-sized hit for what Hellboy cost. And then Hellboy 2 actually did, less good than Hellboy 1.
Which is just, I mean, you could write this script and just repeat it for every movie this guy makes, right? Why Pacific Rim isn't a monster moneymaker is beyond me, aside from the fact that maybe a couple of the actors weren't that great. But
well, it was in China, is the thing.
Yeah,
Pacific Rim was massive in China.
I mean, we don't have to get on a bitch fest of how poorly treated this guy is, but Crimson Peak is a fucking masterpiece.
Oh yeah,
it's a masterpiece, and if you haven't seen it, there's something wrong with you. But it's also not a horror movie, and they build it like a horror movie, so people were disappointed.
Yeah. There is a bit of that.
And that's just such a shame, because, I mean, the guy built a goddamn house.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that.
But anyway, back to Hellboy. Sorry. So we were talking about Hellboy. Is the background noise gone now?
Well, no, it's still there, but I'm just going to have to mix it out because I can't turn it off.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll just deal with that. So Hellboy 2 was not a huge hit.
Bummer.
If there was an awkward edit there, guys, it's because we were trying to figure out an audio issue. Sorry. The bottom line is
surprise, we actually deal with our audio issues, despite what you might think.
We have, you know what? It's a free podcast.
That's right.
It's a free podcast. If you can hear a fan in the background, sorry. We don't have a studio space with egg crates, egg cartons taped up to the walls like in. What was it Hustle and Flow that he just puts the egg cartons on the wall to make a soundproof room?
It works.
Yeah. Well, I'm not doing that.
I know people that do it.
Yeah, this is my house. I'm not putting egg crates up.
And Bob, that's why we will never be hardcore enough for some of these people.
Yeah. I guess not. In any case, we've now learned that Hellboy 3 officially not happening. Which we all kind of knew for a while now, is that Hellboy 3 is not happening. What's happening for a while, we kind of figured that was it, because Hellboy is like ironically the most exposure Hellboy ever got was Guillermo del Toro making it into 2 movies that most people didn't see.
Damn shame.
Because it's a comic book that is very beloved on like the not even the comics buying set. It's basically a comic book that is known and read by people who own comic book stores.
Right.
It's one of those. It is because it's all about demonology and Lovecraft references and old pulp adventure serial storytelling. So,
which is up Guillermo del Toro's alley.
Exactly. And we now find out that we will be getting another Hellboy movie, but it will be an R-rated reboot, supposedly closer to the comics, whatever that means.
I've heard that so many times.
Yeah. Coming from Neil Marshall, which, like, an R-rated Hellboy movie directed by Neil Marshall, they have David Harbour, right?
Yes, and see, this is where I'm torn, because here's the deal, right? I found Hellboy because of the Hellboy movie. I went and read the comics. They're awesome. They're their own thing. They're different than the movie, but they are great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is not and getting something that's more like the comic, cool, super cool, whatever. But here's the deal. We're getting another Pacific Rim. It's not being directed by Guillermo del Toro, because despite the fact that the guy never seems to catch a break and make a movie, he's busy. I mean, the guy wrote and was supposed to direct the Hobbit movies. You know, there's all this other stuff he's got going on. But why couldn't we get Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy 3, directed by Neil Marshall, starring Ron Perlman? Right? We could still get a continuation. I mean, this is the problem I have with David Harbour. The guy's, I'm sure, perfect for the job. He's great on Stranger Things. He's a
good actor.
He's great in other things. He has the exact demeanor that would probably be great for Hellboy. But he's not Ron Perlman.
No, he's not.
Just like Neil Marshall, Dog Soldiers, The Descent, Centurion, we could go on and on and on. This guy's a powerhouse for horror. Doomsday's the fucking balls. Granted, we got Mad Max Fury Road, so Doomsday's diminished a little bit. But still,
a little bit.
The guy knows what he's doing. So, had the Guillermo del Toro Hellboy never existed, I'd be so freaking pumped for this movie. And this is where I'm so torn.
Yeah. It is one of those things, because it's, on the one hand, because usually when stuff like this happens, it's for a property that, like, the studio wants. And when it's not the original creator, and like this is not the Amazing Spider-Man movies where the studio said, you know, we don't want the authentic Sam Raimi version. We want a cheaper, more commercial thing, made by this other guy.
Right. Yeah, it's not that.
It's not that. This is basically, in other circumstances, this is probably something that I would, like, be on the other side of.
Right.
And in the sense of, okay, it's going to be more like the material, it's going to be rated R, and the creator is much more on board than with this than he apparently was with the last one, with at least number 2, which...
Well, here's my thing, right?
Yeah.
Del Toro doesn't normally work PG-13, so
no.
Pacific Rim and Hellboy are the exception to the rule. Hellboy number 1 was most likely PG-13 because up until Deadpool, we weren't able to get anything that was rated R that was in the comic book realm. They tried it with Spawn. They failed with Spawn, even though I love the shit out of that movie. I was a Spawn reader at 9 years old when the goddamn thing came out. Leave me alone. Okay? It is not a good movie, but I love it to death. You took me to see it opening day. We had a good time.
Yeah.
I was reading the Fangoria issues all about it, whatever. But Hellboy, in the hands of Del Toro, should have been an R-rated property. And
probably, yeah.
And if they had come and said, you can make your third one R, I'm sure they would have done it. But is this only happening because of Deadpool and Logan?
I think there's probably that. I think also, they probably think they can do it cheaper.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, cheap as cheap does. How expensive was the second Hellboy? I mean, the movie was almost all practical, so one could argue it's probably expensive.
That's the thing, is that it was more expensive than it would have been if they did it all with CGI.
But it's gonna look like shit.
Well, it is, but I think that they're probably looking at it as, is like the difference between now and when Hellboy 2 came out is every studio that owns anything that's based on a comic book now thinks that they've got the Avengers or Deadpool.
Okay.
And has to take a shot at it. And, I think that, doing it with this, doing it with, we don't know. Did Neil Marshall go to them and say, I'd like to do a Hellboy movie? Did they hire him? He's really more of a director for hire right now. He's,
True.
Neil Marshall is one of those many filmmakers who he's kind of in, like, the second phase of a career, because he had, like, a very strong run when he was, like, the film geeks' go-to cool underground B-movie director of all these things. But now he's a guy who, like, there are legions of people who are Neil Marshall fans who have never seen his movies but worship him because he directed 2 pretty good episodes of Game of Thrones.
Also true.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of in the Matt Reeves ballpark. I mean, look at Matt Reeves. He came into the Planet of the Apes new run in the second movie and took that already, wow, how is this good at all, out of left field first one, and made a sequel that was superior to even that, and his third one looks even better. But before that, I mean, what was Reeves doing? He made Cloverfield, which nobody remembers, wasn't directed by J.J. Abrams, but it wasn't. And he did the remake of Let the Right One In, which should not be good at all, and made it his own thing. So for me to scoff at Marshall, which I put them kind of in the same camp, you know what I mean? I don't want to not like this Hellboy movie, but it just goes against something that I love so much to see it done by anybody else.
Yeah, it feels like this would be really good news, except it means that we're not going to get the equally, if not better, sounding thing that we would have gotten otherwise.
Right.
And it's a weird position to be in, and it kind of, it pisses me off a little bit. Yeah, it does, that Del Toro can't seem to catch a break on these things. And I'll be honest, I don't see this being a hit. I really don't. Well,
that's the thing. If you're going to invest in it, at least you have an existing people saw, granted not enough people that they wanted to see, but people saw the first 2 and want to see where it goes. So at least you get the fans to show up. So cut his budget. Tell him his third movie has to be done for $80 million, and Ron Perlman will work still for $5 million more than he's used to getting on everything else. You know what I mean? I just don't see. I don't see how starting from scratch is a better idea than continuing a story.
Well, it's because they can do whatever they want, and I'm sure that they are, to the degree that they're into the material at all, they must be pleased to have, apparently, Mike Mignola much more on board with this one. And I disagree with the idea that Hellboy 2 is not a good movie, but
Hellboy 2 is a fantastic movie.
Yeah, Hellboy 2 is good. I can understand where, like, I don't know why he hates it so much, if he in fact hates it, but I can see where that would make sense, because he is, Hellboy 1 is sort of in between what the comics are and a Guillermo del Toro movie. Hellboy 2 is a full-on Guillermo del Toro movie, vaguely suggested by Hellboy comics. It does different things with the characters, all of the business with, like, the elves and the, it's had that whimsical troll magic stuff is much more, like, these are Guillermo del Toro ideas that are kind of being fitted in around the outline of stuff from the Hellboy comics, which is fine. So maybe if this is going to be more like that kind of, snarky, gritty, R-rated business that's more in the comics, all right, fine, I'll give it a shot, but it's going to be really hard to not resent the fact that, Del Toro didn't get to do the third one.
Well, and whenever I hear, in 1992, when you hear this like indie comic or this comic guy is going to get to make his vision and the studio came in and ruined his vision on the first one. You know, that's something to get behind. I mean, that's what we're all here for, right? That's so punk rock of us, you know, like or whatever it is. But and more power to him. If McNoll is getting to put his vision on screen, I'll stand behind it and go and see it and probably really like it. But if that's just words to get butts in seats, and it's and it's just the Amazing Spider-Man again, I you know what I mean? I don't want it to fail. I like everybody involved. That's where I'm so torn. Is everything inside of me is telling me this is a great idea.
And also, like I've read, like I have not read all of Hellboy. I won't say that I have not read, but I've read quite a bit of it, and I like the Hellboy of the comics just fine. I kind of feel like Hellboy 2, the movie, kind of went to another, like a higher level
that I want to see explored more.
To. Yeah, and I usually we don't get to be on you know the two sides of this where it's two, you know, artists more or less.
I'm conflicted, and I don't know and I don't know which confliction to go with.
You know, I guess we you know what, we might have to do the novel thing, Chris, of waiting until the movie comes out and forming an opinion after.
You see, Bob, that is true, but we are film fans talking on the internet. Exactly, and if Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back taught us anything, it's that I can shit all over this as much as I want.
Wow.
What the fuck is the internet?
That was so long ago.
Wasn't it?
I was just thinking yesterday, do you know think about how long ago it was that the low end of Kevin Smith's career was Mallrats?
Now, Bob, that is for a podcast of another time.
Okay,
but,
I'm just saying.
But, spoiler alert for those of you listening, my brother and I don't actually agree on Kevin Smith. And so that's going to be a very fun podcast.
Oh, yeah, we should do that one.
I need to watch Yoga Hosers. No comment. No comment.
No.
I need to watch it first so I can form a real opinion. But fuck you if I watch Cop Out. It's not happening.
No living human needs to watch Yoga Hosers.
I will watch it, and I will form an opinion. Because if I had listened to you with Red State, I never would have watched it, and I never would have, won't tell you yet how I thought of it. So back to Hellboy. So is that all? Is that all we want to say about the potentially maybe okay? We're gonna give it a chance. I think Hellboy thing that they're making.
I'll give it a shot. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna come out and it's gonna be a dud.
I agree.
And not like a bad movie. I think it'll be fine. But like Like, I love Neil Marshall, but the reason that he is now the Game of Thrones guy is because no one has seen his movies.
Also true.
Like, you and I have. Like his most widely seen movie is The Descent, which is the best one.
Oh, The Descent is the fucking balls.
Yeah, The Descent is amazing.
And Doomsday is just such a love letter to 1980s Mad Max style weird fucking movies. It doesn't quite hit the level that those ones do, but man, is it trying. John Carpenter would have made that movie in a previous life.
John Carpenter did make that movie in a previous life a couple of times.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I don't know. Okay, fine. What? Like, yeah.
What was that?
What?
Hold on. Oh, I got something coming in the background here. What the hell? I have no idea if you folks heard that or not. This has been a tech issue kind of podcast on my end. No, I think it's good. I think I had a window open that an ad played in automatically.
That is weird.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. That is the most obnoxious thing. All right. So yeah,
Hellboy.
I have a feeling that this is going to be a lot of sound and fury about nothing, because I get the sense that if this performs like other Neil Marshall movies or like other Hellboy movies, this will be a thing that opens in August and the internet is in love with and no one gives a shit about. Like Dredd, for example.
Oh, poor awesome Dredd.
No, Dredd was great, but Dredd was one.
Awesome.
Dredd was fucking awesome.
I mean, it was just what the hell's that movie called?
It's just The Raid with Judge Dredd.
It's just The Raid with Judge Dredd, but what's wrong with that?
No, nothing's wrong with that. But it was really cool. I like that. But like, if you were like in the internet film community when Dredd was coming out, Dredd was the event of that summer. If you are now in the internet film community, Dredd is like an all-time classic. But if you're like 99% of the world, you have no idea they made another Judge Dredd movie. It was a colossal flop.
It was so good.
Yeah. It's like more people know that there are 2 more Starship Troopers movies than know about Dredd.
Well, you know why, Bob? Because those Starship Troopers sequels did really, really good numbers at Blockbuster. They did. They were never in. The 2 copies we had of each were never in.
Wasn't the third Starship Troopers after Blockbuster was no longer a thing?
I don't believe so. I think it was at the very end. Remember, Bob, those Starship Troopers movies did as good business as The Boondock Saints, which was only popular because of Blockbuster, if you ask everyone that worked at Blockbuster.
That's kind of relevant because I'm pretty sure that there is like an in pre-production Starship Troopers reboot that is also trying to do we're going to do it closer to the book version of that.
There's also somehow a Boondock Saints like Netflix show or something being developed.
No, he's kickstarting a TV show.
Yeah, no. I don't even want to talk about it because no.
There's an there is an electronic billboard for it up over like Route 16 in Everett.
Of course there is, Bob. Because according to most people that live around that area, that movie is real life. Anyway,
yeah.
But since we went there, and this wasn't something I was going to bring up, but since we went there,
yeah.
The Dark Crystal.
Oh, yes.
That's topical.
Netflix trailer for a new Dark Crystal movie.
Has everybody...
a new series.
I hope you guys have seen this because, man, you know what? This fan servicey, retro stuff, one could argue all day long how far or too far it's going. But you put Jim Henson talking over new puppets, and I'm just a blubbery mess of I'm going to watch the shit out of that.
Yeah.
I don't even care if it's good.
I was not prepared for how not prepared for that I was. Just kind of like, because this has been one of those things that was supposed to happen and then didn't.
Well,
for like 20 years.
Jendi Tartakovsky was supposed to do it once. Imagine how awesome that would have been.
Yeah, and now it's Louis Leterrier.
Hey,
of all people.
Hey,
Dark Crystal.
Louis Leterrier. You want to talk about workhorses? Okay.
Yeah.
That guy, in my opinion, is actually quite good at what he does. I mean, we've all seen Unleashed.
Oh yeah.
Unleashed is, let's call, the best non-native language movie Jet Li has ever done.
Yeah, I would say so. He's talking about, for those of you who are outside the United States, he's talking about the Jet Li film that you know as Danny the Dog.
Yes. Also one of Bob Hoskins' all-time greatest performance in a career of perfect performances.
Rest in peace, Bob.
Yeah. Holy shit. Just go out and see that movie. We're
go.
The tangent is on a tangent. But man, Louis Leterrier, I mean, the Incredible Hulk is great. It's not, when you put it against all the other Marvel movies, it wasn't quite on its feet yet with the rest of them, but I loved the hell out of how fun that was. Again, I'm one of the few people that thought Ang Lee's Hulk movie was good. Please stop throwing tomatoes at me. But Louis Leterrier's was fun. It was a Hulk movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see how he fits in with doing a puppet movie, but I mean, I also didn't think the guy from How I Met Your Mother was going to be able to write a Muppet movie either. We all saw how that turned out.
Yeah.
That movie's the balls.
I like the Muppet movie. I
really dug it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right, so I think we're coming down towards the end, but I wanted to get one other question that I had for you, Chris, is because I wanted to know, we don't only talk about movies, mostly. It's what I do for a living. So,
yes.
But we have, there's a controversy in the world of popular culture that I have thoughts on. I would like Chris's thoughts on. is steak, and the proper way to eat a steak is very topical right now. Because
it's funny because they're both overweight guys and they're going to talk about food. The comments section.
Hey, food is good food, and
soup is also good food.
Yes, it is, and so this is being recorded on it's after midnight now, so between the 19th and 20th of May. As of this recording, the President of the United States is still named Donald J. Trump.
Yes, as of right now.
Yeah, as of right now, that's still there.
At 12:23 a.m., without making this too much about politics, because I'm trying to avoid this podcast being about that. But yes, as of 12:23, the person we call the President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, is still president.
No matter how many times you say it, I still don't quite believe it.
He's the President of the United States.
He is.
I don't want the comment section full of, he's your president. Yes, he is. He was elected president by some of you.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Some of you voted for this.
Yep.
Some of you did that.
Some of you.
Okay. So it is right now controversial because the President of the United States, former host of The Apprentice, is overseas right now in
former star of Home Alone 2 Lost in New York.
and ghosts can't do it. Is overseas. He's overseas in Saudi Arabia, and it has become vaguely controversial that the president's favorite food, apparently the food that he prefers to eat, is a well done steak served with ketchup. Again, without getting into the politics of it, if this was the only dislikable thing about Donald Trump, what a world that would be.
Right. I mean, we have so much material that we don't need to get into here.
We don't.
Why pick on the steak? I was taught to eat and enjoy steak as a very young child, which I'm thinking maybe at that time my IQ may have been about comparable. Well done with ketchup. And I still eat steak tips. I don't eat them well done. I eat them medium to medium rare with ketchup. Right. But I really can't fault the guy for the ketchup.
Yeah. Well, here, this is the thing. Now, let's first establish ketchup exists as a as a thing. Ketchup exists and is used as the common condiment as a way to get children to eat savory food.
Yes,
right?
And it actually is a lot of people's first introduction to fried fish.
Yeah, right. It is like the point of ketchup is that if you're serving any other food, for dinner and you want the kid to shut up and eat his food, you give him the dollop of ketchup and it's basically vaguely tomato-flavored sugar water.
You give him the sugar tomatoes. Everything tastes better with sugar tomatoes.
And it's a way to get kids to eat their starches and their savory foods and their stuff that has iron in it is to douse it in ketchup. And then even if they don't like what the hot dog tastes like, they will finish their fucking hot dog.
Exactly.
So that's the thing. Now, I, as someone who does try to eat things properly and expand my palate, it is sort of, in a grown-up baby man way, kind of embarrassing that the leader of the free world eats, well-done steak with ketchup. Because that tells me that this is someone who doesn't know what food should taste like.
Agreed. But here's the other thing. I think it talks even more to how ridiculous the shit that we care about is. Because the reason we know he likes his steak this way is because he tells people and takes pictures of it. And I mean, that, in my honest opinion, is not something a 70-plus-year-old man should be concerning himself with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, look. You and I can eat whatever we want. The president can eat whatever he wants, but
he can eat whatever I think that's what really comes down to it. He can eat whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah. That's I'll give him that, but it's because everything that, any politician, but especially this one, does gets overanalyzed. It's become now a thing of, is that, this is not just a gross thing to eat, that this is, like the worst thing in the world. And as you said, if I would never now order a restaurant steak. I wouldn't order it well done, and I wouldn't order it with ketchup. I also wouldn't order it with, like, A1. You know, a steak has its own flavor. If I'm going to add anything to it, I would put, like, mushroom gravy on it. Maybe.
Well, right. And, I mean, eat the steak the way that it is served to you. Now, granted, diner steak and eggs, hot sauce, ketchup. I mean, ketchup is I won't say the poor man's, but ketchup is the younger man's hot sauce, right?
Yeah, right, yeah.
I put hot sauce on everything. Do you know what I mean? So it's just, at the end of the day, the thing you can fault someone on is that if you're eating a well-done steak, you don't know or have never experienced a properly cooked steak, and that's just the way you do it. Maybe he's a germaphobe. Maybe he's afraid of having something undercooked. Who knows? But the real thing is, get something other than steak. If you're going to eat a well-done steak, eat a fucking cheeseburger.
Right. But now, here's the thing, though. No steak with ketchup, but, like, steak tips?
Yes.
Served medium?
Steak tips medium at a barbecue, ketchup all day. Ketchup, barbecue sauce, A1, whatever you want.
Yeah, with A1, like, with skewers, yes. A1 barbecue, ketchup, absolutely. You
exactly.
Know, like, but, like, here's the thing.
But like a New York strip.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to be eating that with ketchup.
No. If you have to put anything else on a New York strip, it's not, it hasn't been cooked right.
And I think that's what this really comes down to. If he's going to a restaurant that knows how to cook a steak and he's ordering it well done, maybe there's something wrong with his palate. I don't think it says much about the laundry list of reasons why we can think otherwise about him.
Right. Well, I would hate to see among this, I know it's a petty thing, I would hate to see, ketchup as a legitimate condiment, be besmirched by this association.
Well, right. Exactly.
And that would be, because ketchup goes, like, I go more with mustard or Thousand Island on a burger.
Agreed. Now here's the thing, though, okay? Since we're on the topic of things that annoy people. I mean, the memes, you see the memes that go around, like, rare, medium well done. What are you doing? Oh, God, no, throw it away, right? Silly things like that.
Yeah.
Ketchup.
Yeah.
Aha. On eggs.
Oh, absolutely ketchup on eggs.
Do you know that there's, like, an entire, like, army of people that are screaming right now?
I don't know why.
Ketchup on eggs is disgusting.
Now, is ketchup on eggs is... Here's the thing. If it's just eggs, no, absolutely not.
Why not?
Just because if I'm gonna put anything on eggs, it's gonna be Tabasco and a little salt.
Okay, I mean, older me, I would agree, but in college, ketchup on eggs all day long.
No, now, scrambled or fried?
Scrambled. If it's fried, they have to be like on hash or something, and then at that point, hot sauce is what you do.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because if not, then the sauce is the yolk. And,
exactly. The ketchup and the yolk mixed together, not the best thing in the world.
No, it's not. But now, if I'm having like sausage and hash browns with my eggs,
maple syrup.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Oh, sausage, maple syrup.
Is maple ketchup a thing?
Oh.
That's got to be a thing, right? Ketchup with like a little hint of like caramelized maple?
I am looking for it right now.
If that's not a thing, you need to invent that.
Maple? Oh, God, yes, it's a thing.
It's a thing?
Uh-huh.
Heinz?
So far, I'm only seeing pictures of menus at diners that does it.
Ah, okay, all right.
Someone posted a picture of Heinz tomato ketchup and an Aunt Jemima maple syrup bottle duct taped together.
Okay, all right, yeah,
all
right.
Has anyone listening to this podcast from the grand area of North America, the North American continent, mind you, called Canada, have you had ketchup chips?
Oh,
have you had them, Bob? Ketchup flavored potato chips. Every brand makes them up there. The funny thing is, you get French fries in Canada, always mayonnaise.
Really?
They give you mayonnaise with it, not ketchup.
Okay, yeah, I have, I've only had like, Canadian diner food like once or twice, but yeah, I do recall that.
What about poutine?
I enjoy a poutine.
It is good.
I do enjoy a poutine. I do.
Okay, now this is definitely the two overweight guys talking about food podcast.
Well, no, these are snack foods, though. It's not.
This is what Donald Trump has done to us.
Well, no, this is like a legitimate thing, though. Is like, here's the thing. There's a difference for me between like restaurant food and cookout food,
or diner food, for that matter.
Yeah, restaurant food, cookout food, diner food. Like if the president's thing was that he likes a plate of steak tips and some macaroni salad.
Right.
And then when it's like he just wants it to be a cookout all the time, I could get down for that.
I mean, the guy's seen some years. He can eat what he wants.
Yeah, no, he can eat what he wants. It's just like it's of all of the things that's there, like now this is become this thing that we now analyze to death. I'm gonna say I agree that, eating what should be a good steak well done with ketchup is...
It's a crime.
And babyish.
It's a crime against that steak. Now,
it's a food crime.
Now,
that cow died for nothing.
Now, if we were to find out that Vladimir Putin's favorite food is well done steak with ketchup, now you're on to something.
Yeah, that would... Now, he's Russian. I don't think that it's a steak thing.
They don't ration steak out there anyway.
Well, no, he seems like one of those guys who probably, like, only eats to live,
True statement.
I don't get that whole, like the base pleasures of life are a distraction from my mission thing seems to run really high among Russian dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are not a happy people.
Nope. and they don't have the finer things in life like, this podcast. I mean, they do have it. I checked the statistics that Russia does download this.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, it's like, even when you see, like, those guys who are, like, super rich Russians and they got, like, that Scarface money to throw around, they still dress like they're doing their laundry.
Yeah.
If you see a dude in a tracksuit on, like a Thursday morning in the daytime, he's probably Russian and armed.
Yeah, shit's going down or went down earlier that morning.
Yeah, Hardcore Henry's gonna bust out his Glock on you.
Oh, have we talked about Hardcore Henry on here yet?
I don't know what else you say about that movie other than you see Hardcore Henry? Fuck yeah, I saw Hardcore Henry.
That's really about it. You just gotta see Hardcore Henry.
Yeah. Alright, well, that's, I think, veering off into vaguely slanderous discussions of Russian fashion.
Yes, and we're back, and we'll talk about... Notice there was barely any politics in that. We just talked about steak.
Yeah, just steak. Just steak.
Is there anything else? I mean, we just barely talked about the Dark Crystal, but I think that's going to be great.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great.
What else?
We're looking forward to the Dark Crystal. We're not happy about Hellboy.
Stranger Things season 2, I'm very much looking forward to, and we'll probably talk about when it's out on this.
Yeah, I'm into it.
I mean, yeah. Now we're just blabbering on, so that's probably the lot of it.
Yeah, that's probably that. We'll come back next week. I'm sure we'll have more to get in on.
Indeed.
Yeah. All right. We should go to the beach sometime.
We should totally go to the beach.
Yeah, come on. I live right near Revere Beach. You can come on down, bring the kid. We'll dip her in the water.
There you go.
Yeah, there's clean parts of the water here.
There's clean parts of the water in Lynn too. They tell me.
No, Lynn Beach is a lovely beach.
Nahant Beach, Bob. You don't want to upset them.
No, Nahant Beach.
The land mass that can only be reached through Lynn of Nahant is a very, very special place to the people on Nahant.
No, I'm talking about Lynn Beach down near the rocks with the seawall at the Lynn Beach Reservation. That's a nice beach.
'Tis, replied Aunt Helga.
With that big giant seawall. That's a high-ass seawall.
It's pretty badass.
That is pretty goddamn awesome that there's a seawall that looks like a fucking Titan is going to get wielded off by it.
I remember, Bob, there is that harbor monster.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Lives out on Egg Rock. Rock.
Damn right. There's got to be, at Lynn Beach with the wall just being, that gets really deep when that fills in. There's got to be sharks, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we gotta We should like get a submersible drone and go look for sharks. Now, see, now this is blabbing. This is some shit people don't need to see. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Chipman Brothers Tangent Podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. Chris, do you have anything else for the people?
This again is Chris Chipman, and thank you for coming along with us on the tangent.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you guys. We out.